get started here this evening. All right. Welcome in to another episode of Live with Chris's World. It is Thursday, January 23rd. Really appreciate everybody for being here. We are live on X. Really appreciate everybody watching on X. We are also live on YouTube and Rumble. Back to YouTube. We've been running this show for 3 years. 3 years. We took a long break from YouTube. We are back on YouTube. hopefully they have diverted from their communist ways. But we will take a look. Is this a little crooked behind me? Let's see. This looks a little crooked. There we go. So live with Chris's World every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on X, Rumble, and now YouTube. Thank you for being tuned in. We have a great show for you tonight. Let's get right into the topics, into the rundown. Here is what we will be discussing. So Trump signed a bunch of executive orders. It keeps on coming. It's like the gift that keeps on giving. Declassifying the files of Robert F. Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. Also signing an executive order banning the creation of any CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Along with that, signing an order that makes the United States the crypto capital of the world. I am very excited about that one, and I'll tell you why. A lot of good stuff in regards to decentralized finance, DeFi, and blockchain technology. I think that the United States needs to lead the way in that area. We don't want to fall behind to our adversaries, especially when it comes to the technology of the future, crypto, decentralized finance, blockchain, of course, artificial intelligence, and other things. So let's go down to Mike Johnson. Officially, they have passed the Laken Riley Act. It is being sent to Trump's desk to be signed. So this will be the first piece of legislation that Trump actually puts his signature on. Good stuff. CNN is planning to lay off hundreds. CNN. Look, this is what happens. I'm not sorry about it. This is what happens when you lie to the people and you do it in such a blatant and aggressive way. CNN, right? Fake Jake Tapper. Think about it. These people, they got up there and for years, they told you Biden's cognitive decline was nothing but a right-wing conspiracy theory. They even went as far to tell you that right-wingers were editing footage and clips to make it appear that Biden was more declined than he actually was. They told you that. Why do you think they've lost all credibility? Because it's warranted. It's deserved. People are coming to shows like this, independent journalists, conservative, citizen journalism is what we call it now, because that is what tends to be most accurate. Guy like me, I don't have too much bias except for my own opinions, but I'm not being paid to say certain things like they are. We'll have some updates on the deportations in Boston. Things got crazy. There was a viral video coming out of Boston. And we've got a whole bunch of things as well. Tim Burchett absolutely clowned Jim Acosta on the CNN ratings. Trump plans to withdraw 20,000 troops from Europe, cutting our troop presence in Europe by 20%. Pete Hegseth confirmation for Secretary of Defense was confirmed. So the next step is actually getting Pete in and getting the majority in that vote on the Senate floor. So a lot of good stuff on the agenda here for tonight. Thank you for being with me live with Chris's World every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This show begins right now. All right, so Donald Trump has officially declassified the files for Martin Luther King Jr., John F. Kennedy, and Robert F. Kennedy. Let's see if we can get this pulled up here. Big stuff going on, and this is something that the people have wanted for a long time. Let's not act like it hasn't been. And if you go back and you remember, Donald Trump initially, he did declassify some, not all, but some of the JFK files. However, what ended up happening was Mike Pompeo, who I believe was Secretary of State or Defense at the time, and he said, "Hey, look, it's a bad time to do this. We don't want to release all the details." So, what did Mike Pompeo know that Trump didn't know? That would be my question. So here we have this post right here. Breaking news: Donald Trump has signed an executive order declassifying files related to the assassinations of John F. Kennedy, Robert F. Kennedy, and Martin Luther King Jr. Big, big stuff. This is what the people want. They don't want to be fooled. Oh, here's this, Mike Pompeo. So take a look. This is exactly what I was just talking about.
You stated that you will release the files, all of the files, as it relates to the JFK assassination. And by the way, this is his desk.
Yeah, that's right.
This is where John Kennedy, little
That's
John
a
Kennedy.
movable door.
Yeah.
It's a little door there. That's where John was.
John, yeah. And RFK, and also Martin Luther King Jr., and that you will be transparent. This was going to happen in the first
So many
time.
people have asked me to do that. And I did it with Kennedy to an extent, but I was asked by some of our government officials not to. And, you have to respect them. I was actually asked by Mike Pompeo, who was Secretary of State, not to. And I felt he knew something that maybe, when he asks you not to, you sort of say, why? And he felt that it was just not a good time to release him. And you might ask him why. Maybe he'll deny that even. But he did. He asked me. And some others also, though. They didn't want the Kennedy stuff released.
You do gotta wonder why, though, right? Because think about it like this. That was in the 60s, man. You're talking 70 years ago. All these people are dead. Johnson came in as president. Obviously, the CIA and Johnson, they killed JFK. There's no doubt about that. We know that. But why would the authorities at B today still gatekeep the files? There's really only one answer. The answer is it will blow all trust and credibility in government institutions, government agencies. Because think about it. If the CIA is doing that, what's the FBI doing? We already know how the IRS goes after us. But like all these separate entities, they all do separate shit. But you lose faith in one, you're going to lose faith in them all. No? And I already don't trust the government. Then we find out, oh, it is actually true. The government did kill JFK. Holy smokes. We already don't trust them. 70% of Americans don't trust mainstream media or government. 70%. All right, let's move on to some other executive orders. So Trump signs executive order banning the creation of a central bank digital currency. So Trump signs an order to prevent the establishment of a CBDC, focusing on maintaining traditional financial privacy and autonomy. This would be seen as protecting individual privacy from government overreach, appealing to conservative values of living in government. It supports the notion of decentralized finance, aligning with conservative economic principles against state-controlled currency systems. So the crypto market would see this as a positive move for non-centralized cryptocurrencies, potentially increasing their value. What they're trying to do is centralize digital currencies. That's what a CBDC is. In other words, it's all tracked. It's all done by and not that it's all tracked, like, because this is what blockchain is. It's a digital ledger live. This is why it's such a value. The blockchain technology can be used for a number of different things. I mean, think about it like this. There was an example somebody gave me where, well, we're not even going to get into crypto and blockchain right now. It's something that I'm not going to overstep. We're sticking to the politics. But you want to be bullish on crypto in general right now. I'm not going to go tell anybody, you don't go buying any crazy shit coins. But if you own Bitcoin or you own Ethereum, you've got to be in a bullish state of mind. No doubt about it. So let's see if we could find this clip here of Trump talking about the CBDCs earlier today. CBDC. Here we go. Nothing. Centralized. Let's see if we can get it up here. Let's see here. Trump has signed his first crypto executive order as well. Let's see. Oh, this is good, though. So this ties right into what we're talking about here. He also signs an executive order to make America the world capital of crypto. This is the crypto to be forming an international. All right, so check this out here, guys. This is what we're going to want to look at. Boom.
Yes, David is.
Yeah, this is the crypto EO. We're going to be forming an internal working group to make to make America the world capital in crypto under your leadership.
Which is really going up, right?
Absolutely.
All right, David, that's for you.
Thanks.
Yes, David is.
Yeah, this
At the end of the day, crypto is not going anywhere. The technology is not going anywhere. It's similar to the space race in the 60s when you talk about the advancement in technology and all the things that are on the cusp right now, artificial intelligence, crypto. Why would you not want the United States to take the lead on that? Why would you not want our people working away to figure out how to be more advanced or how to provide opportunities to American citizens to get ahead of all of these other countries? I mean, you look at, what is it? It's El Salvador, right? Like, they do pretty good with Bitcoin. Bitcoin's their legal tender over there. So all I'm saying is this: when it comes to this new technology, artificial intelligence, crypto, this stuff is going to remain at the forefront. It's not going anywhere. We need to adopt it, learn it, and then excel better than everybody else at it. Like, this is the American way. That's what we need to do. So we've got the crypto, we've got the executive order of the CBDCs. What else do we have here from Trump today? Another thing that he did, he rescinded the COVID vaccine mandate for legal immigrants. So that is a big one. So Trump rescinds the COVID vaccine mandate for legal immigrants. So effective January 22nd, waives any and all requirements that applicants, have to have the COVID vaccine. Good stuff. I mean, why should anybody have to have the COVID vaccine? And secondly, doesn't this just prove a point that Trump is like pro-immigration, legal immigration? Guys, at the end of the day, the man has never come out and said anything bad about immigration. Now, when you talk about illegals stepping over the border, that's a different story. This country was built on immigration. Who built the skyscrapers? Who built everything? Immigrants. Immigrants. All of us are descendants of immigrants. So immigration, it was never the problem. And it won't be the problem. We want the world's best and brightest. And we want contributing members of society here. That's what makes this country great. It's just, there's a process. We have a process for it. But with this point, I think that this really proves, look, Trump is somebody who is, hey, if you're coming over here the right way, we want you here. You're just not going to hop over the border. That's not what we're going to do. Now, speaking of people hopping over the border, so Trump actually signed, really, everything that we're talking about tonight is pretty much an executive order. Let me see. This is a good one. We got our this whole thing got messed up. I don't know what happened on X with the bookmarks, but it's all like out of order. So anyway, look at this. This is positive. Trump signs an executive order allowing the deportation of foreign students who express support for Hamas or Hezbollah. What? Obviously. The issue is on these college campuses, you have Soros-funded groups, committees, little things set up on college campuses. They then are given a script and a little debit card for the weekend. They get a bus to wherever. They chant the script. They don't know what river or what sea. We saw this all last semester. But, I mean, it is crazy that it's still happening. I'll tell you this, though. This man is not going to let it happen. If you're a student and you're taking part in this bullshit, you better stop it. Just mind your own business. But here's what's funny. All right, this is the funny part. All of these people, a significant amount of them aren't students. They're just crazy left-wingers. Of course, you have the students, you have the groups, the committees that show up. But there's multiple layers to what you've seen on college campuses. It's not just students. It's a crazy mixture of both, all Soros funded. I mean, you could look this stuff up. There's ads online, Craigslist. These people, they get paid. Back onto these deportations. Oh, here's something interesting. Interesting fact, actually. Let me pull this one up. I'm not going to pull up we'll just read it. This is actually really good. Again, America first. So Donald Trump redirects $2 billion from illegal immigrant support to North Carolina. They had that bad hurricane. What was it? Was it Helene? So here we go. Quick description. Redirecting funds originally for illegal immigrants to supporting North Carolina and the infrastructure and citizens. So this will boost local infrastructure, the economy, appealing to citizens there, prioritizing American citizens over undocumented immigrants. Like, as I'm reading this, it is nuts that we're even having this conversation. Why is it that people in North Carolina, even in California, Joe Biden, you heard him, they're giving these people $700. The Maui victims from the fires out there, $700. The magic number just seems to be $700. The issue is, due to the inflation that they've caused, $700 isn't even enough for a month worth of groceries or a month's rent. So what, like $700 does nothing for anybody. But Donald Trump gets into office and says, how about instead of spending money on illegals, let's redirect a couple billion to North Carolina and help them get their infrastructure back up and rolling. Duh. Common sense, baby. That's all we're talking about here. Isn't it nice? Isn't it nice when common sense exists? Like when the consensus is common sense, it's like, oh, yeah, I mean, this all. We've lived in such a fairy tale world for so long that common sense has almost become exclusive or a luxury almost. Like, wow, common sense policies. We got to get back to, it's a simple world. It really is. You've had the left overcomplicate very simple issues. Why? Because things just got too good. And obviously you want things to continue to get good. But what I mean is this: when you don't have a threat of foreign invasion or this, that, and a third, everybody starts to worry about their feelings and you end up with tampons in men's bathrooms. Okay? So obviously we don't want threats of war and invasion or anything like that, but we have to maintain a level of seriousness and composure and common freaking sense. This administration is going to do that. And I'm confident that administration after this one will be able to do it as well, because conservative ideology is getting real popular. Why? Common sense. And I don't see the Democrats coming up with common sense anytime soon. You had the Lake and Riley Act get passed. So if we type it into Grok, let's see. The Lake and Riley Act was just passed Why a description of what it is. Let's see what the Lake and Riley Act is here. So we'll ask Rock. Let's get this up. The Lake and Riley Act passed in both chambers of Congress, that is the Senate and the House, awaiting president's signature. Mandatory deportation. The act mandates that the Department of Homeland Security must detain undocumented immigrants who have been charged or arrested or convicted with committing acts that constitute burglary, theft, larceny, shoplifting. This is regardless of whether they have been convicted or even formally charged yet. The legal state action authorizes state governments to sue the federal government or injunctive relief. So ultimately, we're cracking down on crime. So if you have illegals that are committing crimes, you're going to arrest them and deport them. Right. Again, common sense, no? Think about 30 years ago. 30 years ago, if you told somebody that an illegal could walk into a 7-Eleven, steal a bag of chips, walk out, be arrested, just detained for a second and then let go, like, would that have happened 30 years ago? 40 years ago in the 80s? No. Does that happen in any other country? No. I mean, we're the only ones who had birthright citizenship. That's ended now. Trump got rid of that day one. So you have crazies like AOC and Rashida Tlaib going absolutely nuts over this Lake and Riley Act. Here's Rashida Tlaib going nuts. Check it out.
It will separate families. It would lead again to continued discrimination. It's shameful that my colleagues are giving into racist fear-mongering at the first opportunity to pass legislation to scapegoat our immigrant neighbors and fuel hate in our communities. I know what's going to happen. It won't just be undocumented. It'll be people like my mother who will get stopped and profiled. She have to carry her U.S. passport around.
First of all, sweetheart, unless your mother's holding up a 7-Eleven or a bank or setting something on fire, no, she's not going to be racially profiled. Did you read the legislation, honey? She didn't, but okay, let's continue.
Are we asking people now to have documentation? That's what you want to turn our neighborhoods into, is militarization?
I yield the gentlelady an additional 30 seconds.
Gentlelady's
I
recognized.
just ask all of you to truly understand what this will do to our communities. I urge our colleagues to please vote no on this divisive bill.
This lady is an absolute whack job. And what I want to know is what Rashida Tlaib has to say to the mother of Lake and Riley as she sits up there and fights against that bill. I want to know what Rashida Tlaib has to say to the mother of Joshua Nungari, the family of Rachel Morin. What do you have to say to those families? What do you have to say to the thousands of other families that have been affected by illegal migrant crime? We see the numbers in New York City. 2 out of every 3 people arrested are illegal. There is really no justifying her position, in my opinion. There isn't. Now, I will agree. I don't think she made this point, but just generally speaking, I will agree that not every person who came over the border illegally is a bad person. In fact, I'm sure that most of them are good folks. But a couple of bad apples ruin the whole basket, right? Isn't that the old saying or something like that? So it is what it is. Sorry about it, but we have a way that you have to come over. I'm not saying you're a bad person, but you broke the law. You didn't follow the process, and it's time to go home and come back the right way. So again, like, this lady's acting as if we're shutting down immigration. No, we're not. You just saw what we talked about with immigration and Trump removing the COVID vaccine for people to come over. So we're not removing immigration. Rashida Tlaib is simply out of touch with what is actually happening. But this is typical for Democrats, to be out of touch with reality. there really isn't much more to say on it, to be honest with you. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, what are we going to talk about here when we come back? When we come back, we'll have something good to talk about, whether it's going to be CNN, John McAfee's account coming out of nowhere. iPhones are selling for $50,000 on eBay if they have TikTok on them. We've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. I do want to show you a little bit of these deportations that happened in Boston. So when we come back, I think I'm going to start with that. This guy was called, this went viral. I'm sure you already saw it today, but if you didn't, hold on, because people are getting arrested. ICE agents in Boston caught a moment on camera. The people on camera caught a moment that was absolutely nuts. We'll play that for you in just a minute. Don't go anywhere. Live with Chris's World. We will be right back. Look, America has never been as divided as it is right now. So for all my fellow patriots out there looking to make an impact and participate with saving America, boy, do I have a suggestion for you. Go over and check out my good friends at Turning Point Action. You have to see their coalitions. If you're somebody who is passionate about saving this country but don't necessarily know where to begin, this is your go-to spot, and I guarantee you will find a coalition that aligns with who you are and your interests. Look, we all know Turning Point Action does great work, and they're one of the main reasons that the America First movement is as strong as it is. So again, if you're looking for a way to participate, be sure to check out Turning Point Action coalitions and join one today. Look, America is...
You're tuned in to Chris's World, a daily podcast covering the controversial topics of today through a conservative, patriotic lens. Tune in every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday for Chris's World, only on X.
I'm not going back to Haiti.
One of those threats is this illegal alien from Haiti. ICE says he's a gang member with 17 criminal convictions in recent years.
Trump, you feel me? Yo, Biden forever, bro. Thank Obama for everything that he did for me, bro.
ICE Boston quickly takes down its next targets, including this illegal alien from Brazil who has an Interpol red notice for armed robbery. This Salvadoran illegal alien charged locally with rape and released by a sanctuary jurisdiction.
Señor, ¿cómo se llama?
And this Dominican illegal alien charged with assault with a deadly weapon and heroin trafficking. Officers also arrested this Guatemalan MS-13 gang member facing gun charges. ICE says he was released from local custody just the day before. Their detainer request was ignored because of sanctuary policies. And in a sign of shifting priorities with the new Trump administration, this man, who was in the same apartment as the target, was also arrested after ICE determined he's also in the U.S. illegally. This is what ICE calls collateral.
So you guys got your main target just now, but you got somebody else. What just happened?
So our main target was released by a sanctuary jurisdiction, not honoring a detainee.
That is hilarious. So think about that just for a second here. You've got these sanctuary cities trying to protect illegals. So an illegal gets arrested. He gets put into jail. They let him out the next day, ignoring ICE's requests to turn him over. Instead, ICE goes, picks him up from his house. While he's there, there's another illegal, and ICE grabs him too. So good job, sanctuary cities. Instead of one that you could have just turned over, you turned over two. So, hey, you know what? Maybe this whole sanctuary city thing will actually end up with more deportations. When there's one, there's two. It's like deer. Bambi is right next to the mom. So you get what I mean? It's a wild world. It's a wild world. And where are the citizens of these communities? I imagine they're speaking out, right? Illegal, convicted of a serious crime, and the local authorities, the prosecutors, they say no. It just, I don't know. The nice thing I would say is I sit here, I ponder. I say, Well, I wonder, maybe I'm misunderstanding something. I don't think I am, though. I think it's genuinely just crazy. It's crazy at work. But the crazy is over. Crazy time has come to an end. Donald Trump and the appointed border czar, Tom Homan, mean business. And we're seeing that already 3-4 days into this administration. This is good. It's great. Great stuff. All right, let's move into CNN here. CNN's views, MSNBC's views, declining rapidly, as we know. Let me get to this. So CNN plans to lay off. CNN's planned layoffs reflect a broader struggle in traditional media amidst changing consumer habits and political climates. So media industry indicates shifts towards digital and conservative-leaning media, reflecting consumer demand for alternative news sources, you don't say. Political economic impact demonstrates the economic challenges faced by legacy media in adapting to the new media landscape. Legacy media won't adapt to the new media landscape because they can't take the same forum and the same concept of delivering information and then bring it onto another platform. It doesn't work. You saw that with Don Lemon. He tried to come over to X and create a show just like this, but it just wasn't successful because of the manner in which he was doing it. It felt like you were watching CNN. When you watch shows like this, it doesn't feel like you're watching the news. I don't have a teleprompter in front of me. It's 100% unscripted. What's coming to my mind, I just say. It's not like this is just me. Most people are operating in this way. Most people who have a nightly show or a podcast, something that's live, they're not reading off of a teleprompter word for word. It's a cappella, right? It's just off the top. I mean, I have nothing. All I have are these little points, these little things that I read to you, a description, a bullet point, and then a post just to keep you in line. So CNN getting rid of hundreds of employees this week. Not surprised at all. All right, so this moment was really good too. Tim Burchett just ended Jim Acosta's daytime career. Acosta claimed that CNN is, quote, the news. Let's see this. This is going to be a good one here. Where to go? Hold on, we'll get it right up here. All right, here we go.
Is covered on CNN. What you're saying, this is not Fox, Congressman. You can't just spin a tail and pull the wool over people's eyes. Yeah. This is CNN. This is the news. We're asking you to come on and tell the truth.
And that's why more people are watching the Cartoon Network SpongeBob reruns right now, Jim.
Is covered on CNN. What you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, but actually, yeah. More people watch SpongeBob reruns than CNN. Actually, Jim Acosta, zero credibility. What credibility has he ever given you? Actually provide. Guys, they've been wrong about everything. Everything they've been wrong about. From the Hunter Biden laptop story all the way through COVID, the Russian collusion, the election stuff, you name it. They have been wrong about it all. And this is the reason that people are walking away from their televisions and going to their iPhones and their computers. Digital media, citizen journalism is here. It is the media now. There isn't legacy media. Look, I think my point is made. Because anybody watching this right now isn't watching legacy media. Got 1,500 viewers tonight on X. I mean, we're competing with CNN. It's craziness, All right, what else do we have here? So we cover we did the Lake and Riley stuff. This is interesting, actually. So who here knows John McAfee? John McAfee is the guy where, if you've ever seen the spyware on your computer, like McAfee spyware, it's usually a red and white box. You've seen it before. This guy, he's been dead for a while, a couple of years, dead. But today, his account comes out with this. John McAfee. John's account has not been hacked. This is the real deal. So I don't know what you guys know about John McAfee, but he was like the government's #1 enemy for a while. There was a raid on his house. They really messed a lot of stuff up in his personal property, killed his dogs. After that, he had downloaded some information that he had gotten through a back door with the spyware, because all these government computers had spyware. And what he had found out about the government's child and drug trafficking schemes was groundbreaking stuff. He brought a lot of this to light. He ends up killing himself, and that was kind of the end. So I want, if I could find this video, I didn't bookmark it. Let me see if I could find it quickly for you guys. I won't spend too much time looking. Here we go.
Attention, because really, that's all that matters to me.
Did you think Trump was going to be president?
Yes, I hoped he was, actually, because the alternative was not very palatable to me.
Did you think
I will not tell you why, because it will.
Watch this. This is crazy. Actually, watch this.
Implicate me in horrific
Sounds like you're asking me to inquire, but I'm not going to.
I am actually, because I'm not sure I'm going to say it or not.
Well, it sounds like you're egging me on to ask you. I want to respect your privacy.
I am actually, because I'm not sure I will say it. I've never said it ever.
Well, if you
want me to. Not in 6 years since I left police have I ever stated why.
Do you want to?
Absolutely.
Okay, well then you're welcome.
Okay, so when I went on the run in Belize, I had friends in the U.S. Embassy in Belize. I knew what was coming down. I'm not stupid. I had arranged with the head of security. I was going to come in. He said, "Sir, we have it from the highest authority. We are not to allow you entry into the U.S. Embassy." Understand me. Who was the highest authority in the State Department? Hillary Clinton. I'm an American citizen with a American passport. I'm sorry. I'm not wanted in America. I've got no crimes in America. Is it not a reason to say, I don't think I'm going to vote for you?
And yet you're here now.
For a month and a half, I was on the run. The reason that the government wanted to collect me was that after they had raided my property in 2012 in the jungle, shot my dog, abused me, destroyed $500,000 worth of my property over a bogus charge, I was pissed off. And so I donated to many secretaries within the government laptop computers, really nice ones that were preloaded with viral spyware. Within a week, the entire government computer system was under my control. I was watching, monitoring, listening. I was looking for information that they had set me up for that raid. I didn't find that. I did find out that the Minister of National Defense was the largest drug trafficker in all of Central America. And the Minister of Immigration, the largest human trafficker.
We don't want to get killed by them either, so we're probably not going to
That's fine. That's fine.
And then shortly after that, that guy ended up killing himself. Now, you might be asking yourself, Chris, you show us that. You must have an opinion that, okay, this guy is alive. I don't. I show you that just for fun. I do think the guy's dead, and I think his account was hacked. I don't think he killed himself, but I do think he's dead. I don't think he's alive. So I guess, sorry, I kind of yanked your leg a little bit on that one. But interesting stuff, interesting story. I kind of thought you would enjoy that if you hadn't heard of John McAfee. Maybe you had, and you didn't hear that particular story or see that interview, because that interview is pretty much buried anywhere you go to try and find it. except for X, of course. But it's neither here nor there. Interesting stuff. But I do think that John McAfee is dead and that his account was simply just hacked. It's my opinion. I don't have any real reason to believe that otherwise. I mean, what reason would I have to believe that he's alive outside of that post? I don't know. Until I see more, I'm still writing this guy off as dead. But people are saying otherwise. People are saying otherwise. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about Pete Hegseth a little bit and these iPhones that are up for grabs on eBay. Interesting stuff. Don't go anywhere. We will return in just a minute. What's up, everyone? First and foremost, thank you so much for tuning in to another live episode of Live with Chris's World. And I want to let you all know about a new exciting opportunity that we have for the audience. So if you're a patriot who's looking to get on camera and be on a podcast, well, here at Live with Chris's World, we want to give you that opportunity. So look, at the end of the day, there's nothing more important than having the conversations and talking about the issues. So I am personally extending an invitation to any patriot listening to this right now that wants to come share their thoughts, their takes, their opinion on a political current event on Live with Chris's World. All you got to do is follow me, shoot me a DM, a direct message, and I'll be sure to get back to you. All right, so Pete Hegseth, confirmation for Secretary of Defense. Let's see. So this post here from Donald Trump News, Pete Hegseth's confirmation for the next Secretary of Defense has gone through. This is massive. Now it's time to officially vote him in. Make your voice heard below. So Pete Hegseth's nomination. So Hegseth's confirmation could mean a stronger focus on traditional military values, potentially increasing military spending and advocating for a more assertive foreign policy. Look, we need to get DEI out of our military. If there's one area of this country that needs to be focused on merit, it's going to be defending this great nation from any foreign threats, i.e. our military and the branches that consume the military. Guys, when you're out at battle, just take this for it, right? If you're a man, if you're a woman, if you're 21 or you're 35, does the bag on your back or the gun that you're holding get lighter if you are a certain type of person? No. So I guess what I'm asking is, I'm a young man, I'm carrying 100 pounds on my back. What? So the lady to the right of me, does just magic make it lighter for her? No, that 100 pounds on my back, still the same 100 pounds on her back. Now, if she can move just as good as everybody else, absolutely, she deserves to be there. And I'm saying her because obviously having women on the front lines of the military, like, personally, I don't know how I feel about it. If she can perform just as good as a man, I have no reason to say no. But we want to be sure. And that goes for other men too. You don't want less qualified men in there just because they check a box, whatever box it is that they're checking. The point is, no matter what box it is that you're checking, there shouldn't be a checkbox type of thing. All right, here's the standard. Are you above or below the fucking standard? If you're below it, sorry, I don't care if you're white, black, man, woman, fat or skinny. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. You're not getting through. And this is going to be good for recruitment numbers as well, because it's instilling the type of aura, vibe, feeling of ferociousness and lethality again. Why have recruitment numbers deteriorated? Maybe it's because of the current stances that have been taken by some branches. We need to get back to ensuring that our service members are proud to be where they are. They're putting their lives on the line for all of us back here at home. Let's make sure we are giving them the proper conditions to say, I am proud to be where I am. And instilling assertiveness, lethality, a sense of seriousness, and a lack of mediocrity is going to be good for the overall vibe of all of our armed forces, all branches of the military. I don't see how you can argue otherwise. We don't want Paul Blart Mall Cop getting above somebody else that's good, better for the job, just because Paul Blart Mall Cop checks a box. Sorry about it. Paul Blart, second string, bro, if at all. Might be rough, but it is true. I mean, think about it. Like, this DEI crap is ridiculous. Like, you're going in for heart surgery. You get two doctors. You want the one that checks the boxes or the one that's done the most heart surgeries? The one that's proficient at what he's... Come on, what are we talking about here? Airplanes. Who do you want flying the plane? The black Indian chick because she checks a box? Or the regular old pie? Like, if the black Indian chick is actually really good and doesn't need to check a box, she would have been there regardless, then she should be there. She deserves to be there. But let's just keep it based on merit. Only merit. Okay, I'm not saying that these people shouldn't be allowed to do these jobs. It's not what I'm saying at all. I think they should be, and I encourage it. Like, hey, if everybody here in our pool, if we're going to judge it on merit, everybody is 100% qualified. Like, okay, then go diverse it up if you want. But make sure merit comes before diversity or any other checkbox. It has to. All right, let's move on. This is funny. Who here who has TikTok on their iPhones? Because if you do have TikTok on your iPhones, you might want to consider selling your iPhone on eBay, because there are iPhones listed on eBay going for as high as $58,000. $58,000. Last night, we talked a little bit about TikTok and the withdrawals. Doctors are saying that kids are having TikTok withdrawal symptoms. Here's the deal. TikTok, it's allowed on your phone. It's just been taken off of the App Store until a U.S. company buys it, and then it will be back on the App Store. It's not a big deal. If you deleted it off your phone, I don't know why you did that. I mean, but it is wild to think that there is this level of dependency on a social media app. So much dependency that people are willing to pay $50,000. Now, that doesn't mean somebody's going to buy it for $50,000, but it's listed for $50,000. I mean, anybody who buys an iPhone with TikTok programmed on it just for $50,000, like, you're Looney Tunes. So I doubt any of those sell. But it is interesting. And last night when we talked about these doctors, I mean, these doctors are coming out with studies. I mean, this wasn't even a week ago, so I don't know how much time you had to conduct your study, but that there's withdrawal symptoms from not being able to use TikTok. It's ridiculous. What kind of youth have we raised if they're having withdrawal symptoms from not being able to access an application on a phone? This is what liberalism will do. It will create dependency and a society that is simply just out of touch and mediocre for that matter too. I mean, think about it. You have kids that have come through the school system on a no kid left behind agenda. What is that going to produce? Every kid gets a trophy. What kind of society will that inevitably create? One of adults 20, 30 years down the road that simply have an acceptance for mediocrity. It's not okay. Competition. But in general, we got to just get back to common sense. The world is better when we view it through a lens of common sense. Like, don't overcomplicate issues. It's a black and white world. Take responsibility for your actions. Don't overcontextualize. It's what we have to do and merit. Great show here tonight. Live with Chris's World every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please be sure to follow me on X if you're not doing so already, at Chris's World. We just hit 70,000 followers. That's 70,000.6 followers on X. Really appreciate it. Please subscribe to the Free Voice Media newsletter. Our newsletter comes out every morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, keeping you in the loop with must-see headlines and topics that legacy media is simply not going to show you. So we keep you in the loop with important topics every morning with the Free Voice Media newsletter. Free to subscribe to it, and you can click this box right here on my profile to get to that subscription. But thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Live with Chris's World here Thursday night, closing out the week. We had about 1,600 tuning in with us on X. So I really appreciate everybody for being here. It's awesome stuff. And I'll be back on Monday at 8 p.m. Have a great weekend. Be blessed. And I'll see you Monday night. Take care.